There once was an ordinary man named Gideon. Gideon lived in a time where the Israelites were failing to follow through on God's plan for them. They were in a pattern of disobedience. God's discipline, despair, and deliverance. The Israelites were being trampled by the Midians time after time. Gideon was hiding one day in a winepress from the Midianites when the Lord approached him. The angel of the Lord said,
"Gideon, you are the one who will lead the Israelite army. You are God's valiant warrior."
Gideon replied,
"But Lord, my family is the least significant in Manasseh, and I am the youngest of my family."
The Lord replied, "I will be with you, and you will defeat the Midianites as if there were only one man." But Gideon was still doubtful. As Gideon was still doubtful, he asked God to give him a sign that it was really him. So one day, whilst the Israelites were crying out for God to help them, Gideon went to make a sacrifice to God. An angel of the Lord appeared to him and told him to pour broth over the top of his sacrifice and then touch it with his rod. The sacrifice immediately caught fire. God then tells Gideon to destroy the idols of Baal and Asherah which his father had created. So Gideon fearfully takes 10 men at night and destroys the idols. Despite having the confidence to destroy the idols, Gideon still doubts his ability to rescue Israel. And so he says to God,
"Behold, I will put a fleece of wool on the ground, and if there is dew on the fleece and dry on the ground, I will know it is you."
However, Gideon was still not convinced, for it could have just rained in one spot. So the next night, he asked that the ground be wet and the fleece be dry. Just as he asked, it was done. So Gideon now knew it was time to prepare the army. Gideon begins training his army. They are becoming the army that one would fear. Their number had reached 32,000 soldiers. God, however, was ready to show off his glory, and so he commanded Gideon to send home whoever was afraid. So 22,000 went home. The Lord said, "There are still too many people. Bring them to the water, and anyone who drinks the water with their tongue like a dog goes home, and anyone who drinks with their hand shall stay." So Gideon was left with 300 men to take on the Midianites. The Lord said to Gideon, "Arise, for the Lord has given the camp of Midian into your hand." Gideon gave his men trumpets and torches and said to them, "Look at me and do likewise." When they arrived at the camp, Gideon and his men played the trumpets, and his army yelled, "For the Lord of Gideon!" Once all 300 men blew their trumpets, the Midian army ran around afraid, and the Lord caused them to destroy each other. Israel had been delivered.